In this video, we're going to be working with images. Images allow you to create a richer visual experience for your end users and can greatly enhance your UI. Before you can do anything, you need to add images to your model. In the Mimic Designer, images are stored in binary format in your database. This allows you to ensure that they're always accessible by any client connecting to the server. Images are added into your model in the Data Model Designer, specifically the Assets tab. Generally speaking, it's always a good idea to create a view for any files you add if you don't have one already. Keeping your model organized is an important part of model design, and adding images to it is no exception. Since I don't have a Files view, I'll go ahead and create one now by clicking the Add Root View button. I'll call this view Files, then click OK to finish adding it. While I'm at it, I'll go ahead and create a child view in here specifically for images, since I may want to add other types of files at a later point in time. I'll select the Files view, then click the Add Child View button and call this view Images. Then I'll click OK to finish adding it. Now that I have a place to keep my images, I can begin to add them. To do this, select the view you want to use, then click the Add File button, which is the second one from the right. This will open a dialog where you can browse for image files you want to add. When you've found an image, simply select it, then click the Open button to add it to your model. When you select your image, you'll see a lot of properties listed on it. These give you everything you'll want to know about the image that's stored in your database. You may not need to change any of these properties, but let's discuss them anyways in case you ever find a need to edit them. First, you have the can cache property. This is a Boolean value that you can set on the image that determines whether the image can be cached by the system or not. Next, you have the content. This is the actual contents of the image file you selected. If for whatever reason you need to update this, you can double-click the value cell to reveal a button. Clicking this button will launch a dialog where you can choose a new image. After that, you have the file type. This is used in conjunction with the MIME type. You can edit both of these to change the type of file extension you're searching for when you open the dialog to update your image. The metadata allows you to set information about the image. Usually, this is a description of the image itself. I briefly mentioned the MIME type. Generally speaking, MIME types are used for informational purposes. For example, if you stored a PDF in your model and then needed to open it, this MIME type helps the machine that's running your client understand what needs to happen with the file when it's opened. Next, we have the owner type. This property is set by the system when using templating, so there's nothing you need to do with this one. Finally, we have the size. This is the file size of the image you've added to your model. Now that we've got something to work with in our model, we can go into the Mimic Designer and access the image we just added. For this, I've already got a Mimic open, so I'm going to open the toolbox, then find the media group. Next, I'll draw out a bindable image control in the design surface, and we're ready to add our image. In the Mimic Designer, all images are added through bindings. To add your image to the image control, make sure it's selected. Then we'll browse through the model and find the images view we created earlier. As you can see, the files view isn't listed yet, so let's click the refresh button, then browse through our model. In the images view, we'll see the image listed. Expanding that, we'll see all of the properties on the image. For bindings to the image control, you're going to want to select the content property, then choose the value attribute. Next, verify that the source property on the image control is selected, and you can click the Apply button. Now you'll see your image as the content of this image control. So let's save this and then check it out in the runtime. So I'll click the Test Run button, then log in and wait for it to load. And there we have our image loaded in the Mimic runtime. In closing, Status Enterprise is a powerful, easy-to-use tool that lets you design once and deploy multiple times. For more information about Status Enterprise and Mimic design, please visit us on the web at www.scada.com.